G'day guys and gal, Warhammer lore has so much content in it that I can basically make an infinite amount of videos about it. Nothing encapsulates this more than today's video, which details the tragic fall of a Vindicare sniper to chaos. His fall takes place over multiple books, featuring a genuine start, middle and an end. This subplot had no right to hit this hard, but it did, and now I'm going to share it with the rest of you guys and gal. Before we get started, there are a few dozen carry cases left before they're sold out, which will only take around 24 hours or so max, so this is genuinely the last call and last chance to get one. The case is a lightweight, durable and compact solution for safely transporting your miniatures around. It's very versatile with what minis can fit in it due to the two foam inserts. One insert is for smaller models like Space Marines, Elder, Orcs and so on, and the second insert is for larger models like Custodes, Terminators and the like. On top of that, each carry case comes with a free major mini of your choice. Link is below. Final call. Today we're over the life, fall and demise of Eristede Kell, the Vindicare assassin who faced down the Warmaster Horus. Let's get into it. Eristede Kell lived a life of violence and betrayal. He came from a noble family, but they all got cucked and murdered by rival families, leaving Eristede and his sister Jenica as the two survivors. They managed to survive by themselves long enough until they were found by the Schola Progenium, which is like an imperial college for gifted individuals, where they would eventually be trained into becoming a part of the first generation of the new Officio Assassinorum Clades, an initiative led by Majorkill to improve the Imperium's ability to wage its shadow wars. Kell was overall a natural-born leader and level-headed, but his trauma created a very dark, vengeful side to him, as evident by the fact that when the Vindicare Temple gave him leave to go track down and murder his family's killers, he ended up killing a shitload of innocent bystanders as well, an act that would alienate his sister from him. During the Horus heresy, Erebus wanted to assassinate the Emperor and Malcador wanted to assassinate Horus. Makes sense. For Horus and the Emperor, this was beneath them. They knew they would need to fight in an epic anime tier smackdown, whereas their subordinates would prefer that not to have to happen in the first place. Malcador gathered the Clades and got each assassin temple to provide their greatest available assassin. However, since they're all scattered around, it would require a bit of finding. Valdor went off to go find Kell, who was performing a mission in the Terran wastelands. Valdor's ship was shot down by raiders who surrounded him. Now he would be able to beat them, but he also wasn't wearing armor and some of them had very spicy guns. But Valdor also spotted a scope glint for a few kilometers away, and he knew it was Kell. So he was like, "Do you want to see a magic trick?" Before then pointing at each raider one by one and saying death, before that raider exploded into a fountain of gore. The raiders obviously panicked and scattered, not realizing they were getting popped by balloons by Kell from ages away. Kell readily joined Valdor and was designated as the leader of the mission. One by one, the other Clade members were found and recruited, with the Eversor assassin, the Garantine, being especially difficult since he was quite literally halfway through a drug-induced rampage when they found him. To Kell's surprise, his sister was a part of the mission, representing the Venenum Clade, assassins specializing in poisons. The mission to assassinate Horus was a go. They were to go to a planet called Dagonet that was in the midst of a civil war over loyalty to Horus or the Emperor, a civil war that the Loyalists were losing. Dagonet held a special place in Horus's conquests. If the assassins could help the Loyalist war effort, then as a matter of pride, Horus would need to come out there and sort it out himself. The team of assassins were able to nearly single-handedly reverse the course of the war, rallying resistance, taking out key enemy figures, and sabotaging enemy weapon caches. News of this got to Horus, who decided to visit the planet personally and sort it out. Now the grim thing about all of this is that the Loyalists on the planet saw the assassins as heroes, but the assassins knew that by getting Horus to arrive and then trying to assassinate him, the planet and its people would be massacred by the Sons of Horus. They were willingly and knowingly sacrificing Dagonet to take a shot at the Warmaster. A great ceremony was prepared. Horus would teleport down onto the planet, covered by a force field, to address its people. Kell and his team were ready. Kell would fire a shield buster bullet, which would then trigger this high impact laser thingo that would shoot exactly where Kell's bullet was supposed to go. So his bullet would remove the force field and the laser would remove Horus's head. Everything was set, and then a teleportation flare activated. A huge figure in ornate warplate stepped out of it, and then boom, Kell fires, zap. A moment later, the laser strikes and cuts the traitor's head clean off. The mission is a success. Not. Horus had sent one of his captains down to the planet in his stead, a captain he actually despised and was happy to be rid of. That captain died, which enraged the Sons of Horus, who began genociding the world. The assassins attempted to flee and regroup, but shit was not good. The Garantine had to sacrifice himself to let the others escape. That man died well, taking numerous Sons of Horus with him. As the surviving team members were figuring out how the fuck they were going to salvage the mess, they encountered Erebus's assassin, a shape-shifting blank demon host super assassin that was on a mission to kill the Emperor due to its special ability. Now, could it kill the Emperor? Probably not. Could the blowback from its attempt severely destabilize Terra's defenses? Yes. So the assassin team decided to take out the demon assassin instead of Horus. The Black Pariah it was called. The Calexis, the Calidus, the Vanus, and even Kell's sister all died in the attempt to kill the demon, but Kell managed to finally put it down through massive effort. But now he was alone and Horus was still alive, so he decided to do something pretty fucking epic. He got on a ship and flew straight at the vengeful spirit. He planned on ejecting from his ship as he approached it to give himself one chance to shoot Horus through the viewing screen of the ship's command bridge, before the icy cold of the void could claim him. Now clearly that didn't work, and on paper it's a stupid fucking idea, but somehow Kell actually got on board the ship and swore to continue his mission. The only issue is that when he boarded the ship, he got bitten by a bunch of chaos snakes that had venom that was like distilled chaos, so he was getting corrupted. This, combined with the trauma of the mission and losing his sister, something he began to blame the Imperium for, twisted Kell's mind. But despite the loss of his sister, the chaos venom, and being on board a tainted ship for a long time, Kell stayed true to his mission. When Horus came down to the lower levels to find Kell, Kell actually did fire upon Horus. He stayed true to himself and his mission, but Horus merely caught the bullet. And with that act, Kell's mighty will finally broke and he fell to his knees, the corruption overwhelming him as he pledged to serve Horus and punish the Imperium that took everything from him. But this still isn't the end of Kell's story. He was now the personal assassin of Horus Lupercal and was infused with warp power. This power took the form of a demon that possessed him. It allowed him to conjure a gun that shot homing fireballs that tortured people as it burnt them from the inside out. Yep, you heard that right. Horus then tasked the assassin with killing the saint, Eristede Kell, who had been instrumental in expanding the new imperial cult, the belief in the Emperor's godhood. Chaos began to grow concerned that this cult and its beliefs could empower the Emperor just as it could push back chaos. Kell teamed up with an Alpha Legion agent, one of the many talented humans the Alpha Legion employs, and got to Terra to try find Kell. Kell was a sadistic fuck at this point. He was insane and the demon inside him craved murder. He also felt justified in all of his actions, as everyone was a traitor to something, thus everyone deserved to die. Kell massacred entire villages full of faithful Imperial citizens, torturing them for information on Keller's whereabouts. At a similar time, Battle Captain Nathaniel Garro was also searching for Keller because he needed help finding his faith and dispelling his doubt. Hence it was a race between Garro and Kell to find the saint. Garro found her first, but the assassins were hot on their tail. Garro knew that they couldn't just outrun these assassins, so they had to bait them. Keller was hosting a gathering in which the assassin and the Alpha Legion spy infiltrated. Garro was hiding exactly where he believed the assassin would attack from, which was proven correct. He confronted Kell, but Kell merely jumped into the crowd and began indiscriminately firing his demon gun, killing many. At a similar time, the Alpha Legion spy drew his sword and went to go stab Keller, so Garro was like, "No you fucking don't," and he threw his power sword like a boomerang. It sliced clean through the spy's arm and head. It was so clean in fact that the spy was still alive and conscious for a few seconds, his dying brain trying to comprehend what the fuck just happened, before darkness took him. Garro was now taking on Kell, unarmed and unarmored. He was shot with the flaming demon gun, time after time, and he wasn't enjoying it. However, his sword was dragged over to him by an old faithful friend of his, and with it he was able to slay the demon gun by spotting its essence in the fire raging towards him. He then cut off Kell's hand and destroyed the rest of the gun. Kell was now unarmed against one of the greatest Space Marine warriors to ever live. Good luck, Kell. Just before Garro finished off the disturbed assassin, he asked them why he turned. See, Garro was having such a massive issue with understanding traitors because the idea of it was so abhorrent and made such little sense. He wanted to understand why the galaxy was like this and why people were turning their backs on their oaths. Kell said that the Imperium was the true traitors and that Horus had set him free, which obviously wasn't very helpful for Garro's understanding. But then again, you probably aren't going to glean much insight from a tortured murderer assassin with shitloads of trauma and guilt who was bitten by chaos snakes and was then infused with a mysterious blood-hungry demon gun thingo. Obviously the answer isn't going to be the most coherent. It was hard watching such a badass, steadfast and loyal character turn into a mustache-twirling villain, but at least it occurred over multiple books and it had plenty of trauma and reasoning to fill in the gaps, unlike Horus, who was cool and then very quickly became wildly uncool. I believe Kell may also be the only clade assassin to fall to chaos, but I'm sure the comment section can fact check that one for me. The clades of the Great Crusade and Heresy were significantly weaker than they are in the current setting. That includes mentally, as they hadn't been trained to resist chaos yet, so it's no surprise that it doesn't happen anymore. Even though he fell, I still got a handsome respect to our boy Kell. Even when he was turbo fucked in the head and gotten bitten by those random chaos snakes, he still took that shot at Horus. It's just a shame that Horus had anime spurg jitsu powers that could catch high velocity sniper bullets mid-air apparently. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then pick up the carry case. Only a handful of these left, it's the final call. Hit the subscribe button, hit the real subscribe button for more Fallen content. Join the Discord for more memes and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.